Yo, 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 yo. Welcome into a little Sports 56 happy hour. I'm your buddy Johnny Radio. Jay Morgan Harder's in the house. And I hope you had a wonderful Labor Day. Jay, I got to say, I had a fabulous weekend. We had college football all day long, all day strong on Saturday. Crazy stuff happening. A little Sunday night game. Got my brains beat out. Florida State and Mike Norvell, very good as they just beat up Brian Kelly's LSU team. My goodness. The big difference, Mike Norvell went out there and got him some wide receivers on that Florida State team, didn't he? My goodness. We got so much college football to talk about. I hope everybody had a wonderful time. We got David Cobb, CBSSports.com. He's coming on at 11:30 to talk all things college football. I'm going to open up and talk all things college football. We're going to talk tons of college football, but don't forget, we also have the NFL kicking off on Thursday night. Right now, it's going to be the Chiefs and the Lions, game number 1.
2 more sleeps, I believe, John.
Yep, you're right.
2 more sleeps.
Going to bed tonight, going to bed. Oh, no, it's 3 more sleeps. Because I go to bed on Monday. I go to bed on Tuesday. Oh, it's Tuesday.
Tuesday.
It is 2 more sleeps. I was thinking it was Monday.
2 more sleeps.
That's right. We had Monday night action as well. We had Clemson and Duke. We got some great upsets to talk about. Again, you got Duke beating Clemson 28-7. Colorado and Deion Sanders dropped TCU 45-42. Baylor lost to Texas State. Like, there are so many crazy things to talk about today. It's not even funny. We're going to jump deep in it. Plus, we got Texas, Alabama coming up this week. Week 1 of college football is behind us. I will say, you know how I feel like sometimes I just complain to complain. Sometimes I just act like a little, you know what? Just complaining. And you know how I complain about, why do we start with week 0? And I was thinking about how that is kind of annoying because it's an appetizer.
Well, except for next year. Because they're going to start making them all play in week 0, but still want to keep calling it week 0. So why is it week 0 then, right? It's not week 0. If like you said, it's perfect calling it week 0 now. Like it's an appetizer.
Because it's like a little. I mean,
and
Notre
that
Dame
was week
maybe
1.
is not great,
right.
But we want to see football so bad. We're watching Sam Hartman throw the ball all over the yard. You're excited to watch, like, basically San Jose State and USC, like, you know, your games that just really don't tickle your fancy, but you're like, you know what? You know, let me try this little appetizer here, a little something. But then this weekend, this is
week 1.
Like, you just could tell, and you felt it, and it's, you know, Labor Day.
4 days.
And it was just
5 days of football, right?
Man.
It started Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday. 5 days of football.
Yeah, that's when Florida got their brains beat out, right?
Uh-huh.
My
So
goodness.
that was fun. But if they all play next year, I think we should just call it week 1. But like you said, John, it is a little bit of an appetizer for right now.
Well, I think the appetizer was good. So let's talk about some of the good, some of the bad. I first got to start off the SEC. Very, very interesting week for the SEC. LSU just got boat raced by Florida State. And I mean, it was freaking ugly. Mike Norvell, those wide receivers are nasty. You got the big kid who's like 6'7", number 11 out there catching balls. The Coleman kid who transferred in, just running by everybody in the LSU secondary, making all the plays. Mike Norvell calling a hell of a game in the second half. I mean, do you remember LSU took that ball all the way down the field and could not punch it in from, what was it, at the 1 yard line?
1 yard line, that's right, John.
The 1 yard line. It's as bad as Clemson being inside the 1 yard line and fumbling against Duke to basically start the fourth quarter. And also, Cade Clumpton then fumbled it when he was inside the 10. Clemson was horrible. But my goodness, it was just it was a wild thing to see Mike Norvell's Florida State team look like they had the better athletes. I mean, LSU shot themselves in their foot. Their wide receivers kept dropping everything. Fumbled a punt. Again, couldn't score inside the 1. And then the second half in a game that I thought was going to be a great second half of football, LSU was up by 3. Was up by 3. With like 3 minutes and change in the third quarter, it was still a tie football game.
At what point did you believe Florida State was going to win that football game?
There wasn't a point.
I agree. I
There was
didn't. I never until the end. I never thought.
Okay, no. When they started the first drive of the football game, I was going, yes, stick it to them. How you like me now? I'm doing pelvic thrust up to the television.
Tapping your head as you do.
Tapping my head.
You have to tap your head.
I'm telling everybody in the room, I told you LSU. I told you LSU. It's the first drive of the game, by the way, just so everybody knows.
But everybody that's not aware of John's baby, that's how it goes, man. I mean, we are the first play of the game. Hey, they're both equal importance, right, John? The first play is just as important as the last one, and that's how we treat it.
And that's how I was all up in this bad boy, and LSU doesn't score, and I'm just like what the? I'm sitting here going, what just happened? Oh my God, how can you not do this? Where's that great offensive line? And then you just realize, by the fourth quarter, LSU's got some dudes, and that wide receiving core they're filthy. And you know what? They got a quarterback. They have a quarterback.
What do we know about this gentleman? I'll look up some information.
Jordan Travis?
Yeah, I don't know anything about him.
What do you mean? He was great last year. He was a highly recruited kid. Everybody said he was going to be the savior for Mike Norvell in Florida State. But my goodness.
So he's been there then.
Jordan Travis the touchdown passes that he threw over in the corner of the end zone were just perfect. Did you see how Coleman just ran right underneath that? And we're talking about touch passes. When he needed to fire him in there, he did. Did you see how he ran the football? He ran Mike Norvell's offense to perfection in the second half all over LSU's face. In the first half, did he have a little jitters, it felt like? Was he off in the first half? He was a little bit off. He threw that ugly pick that was just a poor decision. But then in the second half, my man went in out there, and when they went two backs in the backfield set, LSU didn't have an answer. He was reading defense. He was running. He was making beautiful throws. He made plays. Jaden Daniels didn't. Plus, again, the wide receivers for Florida State, it was nasty. You can't say enough about Florida State. 45-24, all over them. Whew. And by the way, that LSU run game, how bad was that?
They couldn't move the ball. Like you said, John, it just wasn't very constant, like explosive at times, but also extremely constipated at times.
It was wild. So LSU, man, Brian Kelly, he's going to have to go back to the chalkboard. But it wasn't just LSU that fell and was so surprising. And by the way, right now, Florida State, they look like they're going to be a beast. They look like they are. But the thing is, it's only week one. But, man, Mike Norvell's team looks amazing. And the key is, yes, he's recruited some good players. He's had Jordan Travis in that program. But those wide receivers, those are transfers. Those are some dudes. And Florida State looks like they are superior over in the ACC. And you remember the team that used to own the ACC?
That would be the Clemson Tigers, John?
That would be Dabo's team. Man, when he had Deshaun Watson, when he had Trevor Lawrence, heck, when he had Taj Boyd, they were doing it all. They were dominating the ACC. Last two, DJU ain't worked out. Now, Cade Klubnik sliding on fourth down. Could have gotten the first down, but doesn't. Fumbles the football, throws dumb picks. The offense was very blah. That was against this Duke team. That Duke looked like they were just as fast and athletic as Clemson. And why is that? Well, let me tell you something. You know who doesn't believe in the transfer portal?
That'd be Dabo, John.
He ain't down with the transfer portal. Look at Florida State and what Mike Norvell did in the transfer portal.
Yeah. You just don't get to make that decision when you're the coach nowadays. Like, you don't get to decide whether or not you want to be a part of the transfer portal. And I really do truly, I don't know if you do, John, but I really do understand his misgivings the right word, but his reluctance to be a part of it. Like, I'm not the biggest fan of it either. But if you want to compete at the highest level, you just don't get to make that choice. You just don't get to stand on your morals that way.
3 big offensive weapons that Florida State got this year. They got Jaheim Bell, the kid from South Carolina that can play tight end, he can play running back, can play wide receiver. He's a damn Swiss Army knife. You have Johnny Wilson, the 6'7" wide receiver who caught 7 balls for 104 yards, made amazing catches, and in the first quarter he was nervous as hell and dropped like 2 balls that hit him right in the chest, and then goes off. And did you see what Keon Coleman did?
What?
9 receptions, 122 yards, and you heard it, a hat trick, 3 damn touchdowns on LSU's face.
3 tutties.
3 tutties in that ball game. All 3 of those guys, guess what? They accounted for over 250 yards receiving and 4 touchdowns. That's what the transfer portal can do for you. You got to go out there and get the best of the best. Mike Norvell's done that. Dabo Swinney's team just got beat by Duke. Duke had a guy playing safety last night who's got his 7th year of college football, is a full-grown damn man. And by the way, Mike Elko is a coach over there at Duke. And to be honest with you, Riley Leonard, that kid is 6'4", 212, athletic as hell. Did you see that touchdown and run he had down the sideline where he ran away from all the defensive backs for Clemson? After he was stopped on a 4th down and 3 in the backfield, dude's got him wrapped up. He just runs over him and then keeps going and then doesn't just run the dude over, then runs past everybody. Like Duke was more athletic. Now, was that a crazy game? Was there some crazy things that happened in that game? Yes. But, dude, why if you're in the 1-yard line or you line up if you're inside the 1-yard line, why do college coaches put these guys in the shotgun?
I don't get it, John. Why do high school coaches?
Let's line up 6 yards deep.
It's dumb. It's the stupidest thing I've ever heard in
And then
my
let's
life.
catch it, and then let's ride somebody. And either, if you don't pull, you saw what Shipley and Klubnik did. He goes to ride him, and then Klubnik at the last second tries to pull it. What happens? Fumble. Then later in the game, inside the 1-yard line, line up 6 yards back. They just did a straight handoff to Mustafa, or whatever his name is, something like that. I think I was calling him that because he was running people. He was running people over. I was like, man, this man running people over, like man. But then you're 6 yards back, hands it off. They got pressure from their defensive tackle, who blew guy out. Runs his own guy, his own guard, into the running back, and he fumbles the ball, scooped by Duke. And then they take off running down the field. Now, Klubnik ran pretty good down there and caught that little DB who scooped and almost scored. But, man, Duke was the better football team. Mike Elko's offense was much more interesting. They actually both teams were running the damn football.
Yesterday, for sure, they were better too. It didn't look like Clemson has anything in terms of improvement.
Looked like a 7-5 team.
Yeah, I don't believe they could have any improvement. But I guess the argument you could make, if there is one to be made,
New offensive coordinator
in week
Cade's
1,
second start.
But
he looked pathetic.
But in week 1 in a league game on the road too, which is not all that common, in college. Now you will play tough games on the road, but generally those guys, those coaches that have scheduled those games, they feel pretty confidently about those teams that they're going into.
28 consecutive times.
Well, that's true too. But you don't get to choose whether or not you feel confident about your team when you go play a league game on the road week 1. Somebody else made that schedule for you. And so I do feel for them in that regard, but I agree with what you just said, John. It does not look like there's any discernible improvement that you're going to see be made. They look like a 7-5 football team.
They also, again, their offense was, they've been doing the exact same BS since Taj Boyd. And I don't know if you know, but you constantly have to adapt. You have to change things up.
It's too much film on it now, you know what I mean?
And plus, it's not like, I hate to say it, but those wide receivers weren't getting a ton of separation against Duke at all. I'm like looking at Clemson's wide receiving core looked pathetic.
My favorite thing to say after a game like this is to say, we're going to look back later and be like, wow, that Duke team was really good. I don't know if that's true.
9-4 last year. Every single game was at least a one-score game, the 4 games that they lost. Now, their schedule is more difficult this year, but you just saw them right now. Now, I don't know how impressive it is to beat Clemson anymore because, remember, the last 4 games Clemson's played, they got waxed by Tennessee. They got beat by South Carolina. And yesterday they got beat by Duke. So, man, again, this Clemson team is just in a different realm. Dabo Swinney, you might want to adapt, my man, because if you don't figure out how to get in the transfer portal, you're not going to have those full-grown dudes, and you're not going to have the best of the best.
If I could take you on another game real quick, John, that makes the transition from Dabo.
Take me on another game,
So from Dabo to someone else on his staff, laughed at probably partially because he used to be on his staff and partially because of the things he says in press conferences. He is no joke, and that's Brent Venables. Oklahoma is for real.
Their offense was ridiculous.
That's crazy. I know it's Arkansas State. You can say what you want, but we've been talking
about Arkansas State, honestly.
We've all on Sports 56, and I'm sure everywhere around town, people talking about Memphis football is worried about their game against Arkansas State. For months now, we've been talking about how worried we are about it. So nobody expected, even though it's at Oklahoma and people are high on Oklahoma,
zip.
No one expected that for a second.
Zip.
And I was listening to some people talk about the Big 12 over the weekend in the past couple weeks, and people think Oklahoma is poised to be really good. Not just like, oh, they could compete to win the Big 12. No, we're talking national championship competition, and they showed it this weekend.
First quarter, in a blink of the eye, it was 28-0. It was like, bleep, damn, Arkansas State's getting smoked, you know?
Seriously.
But yeah, hey, by the way,
and that's scary for Memphis going there this weekend after you just got beat. You got your ass kicked on the road like that. Now you got a home game coming up. They're going to be ready to play.
I will say, though, I saw the worst football team in the entire country since we're talking about
Is that
teams.
Bethune-Cookman?
No. I was the Mercer Bears.
Oh, the Mercer Bears!
Like, I mean, the first play of the game on offense, that little quarterback took that little Peavy kid. Man, my man takes off running down the street, bro, 75 yards for a touchdown. And I was like, man, Pete Golden didn't start this jump very good. Oh, this is bad, man. Ole Miss fans are freaking out. It's 7-7. Like I swear, like they just had the fireworks go off. It was just like, I was like, man. And then all of a sudden, their quarterbacks played perfect. Jackson Dart. I mean, I have to say, though, I've never seen people so wide open. Like, I swear to you.
All of this positive things you're going to say, you just have to preface it with,
Listen,
everyone was real wide open.
Like, I mean, I'm just telling you, Walker Howard looked great. He was 3 for 4. My man Spencer Sanders came in there, looked extremely comfortable, threw 2 touchdown passes. Jackson Dart was almost perfect. He threw for 334 yards and 4 touchdowns. It was like this team was so bad. I ain't seen a team that overmatched in a long time. Hope that money was worth it. But I guess I brought that up because we were talking about one team. Who did you bring up?
Yeah, I was talking about how bad Oklahoma beat Arkansas State this weekend. You know.
Yeah,
but you know, you never know. That game could be competitive this weekend going there. But I was really impressed with Oklahoma, and I'm excited to watch them down the stretch. I'm glad Brent Venables has got them going in the right direction.
901-360-8255. That's 901-360-8255. What do you think's the biggest upset of the week? Is it Duke dropping Clemson last night? Is it Colorado beating TCU? By the way, Deion Sanders' son, Shader Sanders.
That kid can play, man.
Homie, 510 yards, beats TCU on the road, first games, 4 touchdowns, no interceptions.
And Travis Hunter's one of the most impressive players I've ever seen.
His other son, by the way, Shiloh Sanders, played safety and led the team with 10 total tackles. And then there's this dude named Travis Hunter, who had 3 tackles, pass deflected. He had 1 interception. Great game. Strong corner, wasn't he?
Unbelievable. I mean, you don't see corners like make plays like that because they don't have the hands to do it. They're not confident enough in their ability to catch the ball, and he was, and that was an unbelievable play.
And then you have not only my man, like you said, playing amazing cornerback. Did you see him go and play offense? 11 receptions, 119 yards. What in the hell did I just see out of Travis Hunter? He was on the field for like 115 plays or something. It was like, this dude is in shape like nobody I've ever seen in my life.
And then I saw a video of him this morning playing basketball at the rec, just dunking on kids.
Yeah, dunking on, dude, this is so funny. Even in the post game, did you see they asked him like, my goodness, you were on the field for, I think she said 115 plays. And he was like, man, I'm ready to play another game right now.
I love that attitude.
You got Colorado, who beat TCU, 17th ranked team in the country. You had Duke beat Clemson, 9th ranked team in the country. And then you had a team called Texas State beat Baylor. You remember TJ Finley at LSU?
I sure do, John.
Man, he couldn't do jack, could he?
Not at all.
Well, he was really good against Baylor.
He can now.
How far is Baylor falling? Do you remember when they beat the brakes off of Ole Miss in a bowl game just like 2 years ago when Matt Corral was playing?
Oh, yeah.
And now Baylor's getting beat by Texas State. Texas State's first win over a Power 5 team in the history of Texas State.
It's a great argument for how good a coach Matt Rule is, isn't it? You know what I mean? The fact that he was coming off the death penalty there and got them to 7 wins that year off the death penalty. And I mean, that's the only semblance, like you just said, of success that they've had since all that stuff went down with Art Briles. So it really is impressive, and hopefully that translates to Nebraska too. But Baylor was real disappointing this weekend.
Baylor was so bad. It was crazy. So what do you think was the biggest upset of the weekend? Hit us up, 901-360-8255. It is time for us to switch gears a little bit because we got to talk with David Cobb. But I do want to remind you, you need to sell your house in a flash. 901-406-1101. Call my buddy Bill at I Buy Houses. Bing, bang, boom. I just sold your house. 901-406-1101. That's 901-406-1101. Any house, any area, as is. As simple as that. Call Bill at I Buy Houses. Again, 901-406-1101. David Cobb on the other side from CBSSports.com. We're talking football. Sports 56, 98.5 FM.
We are real sports talk. Sports 56 WHBQ. Available on your radio dial at 560 AM and 98.5 FM, as well as around the world online at sports56whbq.com. Take us with you everywhere by downloading the Sports 56 app. And at home, just say, Alexa, play Sports 56. Wherever you are, stay tuned in to Real Sports Talk. Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
Homer Skelton Hyundai Genesis in Olive Branch has an offer you can't refuse. They will pay you to do business with them if you want luxury. And I'm talking the Genesis G70 car. If you would love to have that kind of new technology, they will give you a $1,000 rebate when you finance with Genesis Motor Finance. In other words, they'll pay you $1,000 to do business with them, and you get brand new luxury. You can't beat it. That's Homer Skelton Hyundai Genesis, right at the corner of Craft Road and Highway 78 in Olive Branch. Homer Skelton Hyundai Genesis in Olive Branch, where customer retention is amazing. There's a reason. They take care of you with a team that's been together for a long time. Whether it's finance or whether it's service, you can't beat them. Homer Skelton Hyundai Genesis.
It doesn't matter if you're at the lake, if you're hunting, fishing, playing golf, or just playing around, Scooters Plus can hook you up with the mobility that you need. Scooters Plus has the largest vehicle and parts inventory in the Mid-South and the best service department. You can choose from ATVs, UTVs, golf carts, motorcycles, dirt bikes, trikes, scooters, and even electric bikes. Come in today to start or wrap up your holiday shopping with 25% down on Christmas layaways. Scooters Plus, 3425 Summer Avenue. Call Sam at 458-8843 or go online to scootersplus.us.
And now a special motorcycle weather report from Progressive.
And today expect mostly sunny conditions with a high on life that can only come from cruising down the road on two wheels. Kids will wave, dogs will bark, and cyclists in padded shorts will instantly regret their chosen mode of transportation. Whereas you, on the other hand, will look super duper cool. Back to you in the studio.
This has been a special motorcycle weather report from Progressive, where every day's a beautiful day to ride with coverage from America's #1 motorcycle insurer. Get a quote today and see what you could save. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates.
Bartlett Small Engine has been serving quality power equipment since 1970. They have a full line of power equipment, parts, and services for most makes and models. Bartlett Small Engines has the best brands in the power tool industry, and they're all American made. Bartlett Small Engine is your can-do store. 6780 Summer Avenue. Call 901-386-9779.
Bartlett Small Engine has free pickup and delivery both at your home and curbside for lawnmowers, blowers, edgers, and any small engine. Call 901-386-9779.
Hewlett & Dunn Boot and Clothing Company, we have it all. From handmade Amish leather belts, fine and casual clothing, boots, casual boots, work boots, fancy boots, and even safety-toed boots. Lots of cowboy hats to choose from, even Nebo lights, good-looking duck head dress shirts, duck head caps, shorts, and pants. Tons of jeans from Ariat, Wrangler, Devil Dog, and Kimes Ranch jeans. At Hewlett & Dunn, we have a great selection of Old South t-shirts and caps. Fine clothing from dress to casual to Sunday best. Enjoy choosing from UFO's orthopedic-approved shoes. Hewlett & Dunn Boot and Clothing Company. Boots of every size, every color, every skin. Great quality Western, work, and safety toe boots. Hewlett & Dunn Boots and Clothing Company. 111 North Center Street, Collierville. Hewlett & Dunn. Hewlett and Dunn, serving you and your family since 1961.
At Sissy's Log Cabin, you'll find only spectacular natural diamonds that will remain treasured for generations. That promise is now symbolized by the engraved Sissy signature and sapphire, representing our guarantee of extraordinary service, selection, experience, and quality. Stop by any of our stores or visit sissyslogcabin.com and experience the Sissy's promise for yourself. Find a jeweler for a lifetime, only at Sissy's Log Cabin, because life's too short for ordinary jewelry.
All the wisdom of the universe is in these bones.
Now back to Sports 56 Happy Hour on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. Here once again, Johnny Radio.
Welcome into a little Sports 56 Happy Hour. I'm your buddy Johnny Radio. Jay Morgan Harder's always hanging out with me, and it's a Tuesday. It's 11:30. You know we're talking with the best. That's David Cobb over at CBSSports.com. Of course, he joins me every Tuesday. You can also read all of his work at CBSSports.com and follow him on the Twitter at David W. Cobb. David, what is up, my homie?
Yo, John, not a lot. Just kind of catching up on some games that I didn't get to see on Saturday, and then looking ahead, man, it's only a couple days away before week 2 kicks off. So it's, yeah, man, week 1 wasn't like the best slate of games, but it was still nice. Just kind of finally getting to learn and see and get a feel for where teams are at.
Well, yeah, like I have to say, because I know that you're an alum of the UT Vols, you had to actually say to yourself the fact that you saw one game, and I know it was Virginia, but Joe Milton looked very effective running the football, throwing the ball, hitting his check downs instead of trying to force everything. Did you feel good about the way Tennessee played? And plus, I mean, when you run for 250 yards, your offense is going to look really good. What did you think about Milton?
Yeah, overall, I thought it was a good performance. I don't think he's ever going to be quite as accurate as Hendon Hooker. I flash back to a couple of pretty bad missed throws in that game and, realize, hey, this isn't a 67% completion percentage type of guy in all likelihood over the course of the season. But the thing he brings that you mentioned that I think really separates him from Hendon Hooker last year is the physicality in the run
strong.
game.
Did you see him throw that dude down, that little defensive back who tried to tackle him? He just stopped and then went right at him and just threw him to the ground. I was like, heck yeah. I
did see that, and that's unique. I don't remember in my lifetime Tennessee quarterback with that amount of physical just freakishness, right? Like Joe Milton could play linebacker probably with the way he's built. And he's out there playing quarterback. He did a good job. He settled in as the game went on, I thought. And overall, I'd give him a B+ or an A- for that performance.
Sticking the SEC, very bad showing for a few teams in the Southeastern Conference. But got to go to Alabama because we hadn't talked about them at all. And Jalen Milroe, boy, fast as Cooter Brown, lean, mean, looked really good against, MTSU. The one thing that kind of bothered me watching him, I don't know if you've watched it and picked up on it, and of course Alabama rolled. When he had good footwork, he threw strikes. He opened up his hips, his shoulders. He threw a very catchable, accurate ball. When he kind of steps up in the pocket and then would pick up his back foot and throw just off of his front foot, he couldn't open up his hips and his shoulder, and he just missed bad on some of those throws when he did that. He works on his footwork. Sky's the limit. What do you think about him, the Alabama, start to the season? Because they play Texas this week.
Yeah. Well, Texas didn't look great either. I didn't think Alabama or Texas were totally overwhelming. I mean, you look at the box score from Alabama MTSU, and it tells you a story of total dominance and, there being very few flaws, if any, maybe for the Crimson Tide. But you go back and watch it, and you're right. There was one throw in particular from Jalen Milroe in that game where he underthrew his guy by about 5 or 6 yards on a 40-yard go route, and it was just one of those total head scratchers where you're wondering what is that?
Look at the tape. I promise you, it's when he picks his back foot up off, and it almost like he's trying to throw the football like a dart.
Yeah, he's not precise yet. He's not precise, but he's really good at improvising, which we saw last year. That's no surprise, and I think it's why the decision to go with Jalen Milroe is the right call for Alabama, because there is an element there that he brings to the table, kind of like Joe Milton, honestly, with the bulldozing
the
running
way he
capability,
can run,
and also just the fearlessness. You remember last year, Bryce Young, when he decided that he was going to run, he was really good at it, but at the same time,
he didn't
want the label as the stereotypical dual threat guy. He wanted to show that he was a great pocket passer, and he was. I mean, Bryce Young is, I think one of the best Alabama quarterbacks ever. And but the difference in Jalen Milroe is he embraces the running element to his game. He'll lower his shoulder and extend a drive, extend a play in that way without any hesitation whatsoever. And so that helps make up for some of the inaccuracies and concerns about his throw game.
One other thing that had me a little bit worried, and again, this kid is going to be phenomenal. Probably one day we'll be playing in the NFL, and that's that Caden Proctor, the kid who just turned 18 years old, starting on Alabama's offensive line, 365 pounds. He's a behemoth. But there were a few times where he just whipped on some dudes. Horrible footwork a couple of times, got knocked on his butt a few times. I know he's going to be good, but man, that Texas front seven could, really, if they can get that 18-year-old kid on his skates, that'd be bad news for Jalen.
Yeah, I wouldn't be shocked if the under hits in Texas, Alabama, because I still feel like there's a lot to be desired with both of these offenses at this point. And even though they won their openers in lopsided fashion, I think if you really go and watch those games, there were yellow caution flags pretty much everywhere. And for Alabama, being in a position where you've got to start a true freshman at left tackle is not ideal. Even though he's among the top prospects at that position of the last few years, you would like for him to either redshirt or get worked in there a little bit at a time.
He literally just turned 18 years old, which is like wild to think that. And he's starting he's starting for Alabama that young. That's just crazy.
It is. So, huge game this week, no doubt. I mean, with LSU tripping all over itself against Florida State, the path is open here again for Alabama to be the superior team in the SEC West. But if you lose to Texas, your margin for error has evaporated in terms of reaching the college football playoff, because unless we're going to see a two-loss team make the CFP, right, like these games are so important. I mean, LSU, I think, they're out of it. I mean, I know they could technically win out, right, but what are the
they
chances?
Got dominated, man.
They did. I mean, what are the chances they get through the West undefeated? And then similarly for Alabama, if they don't beat Texas, I mean, I just don't think that this Alabama team has what it takes to run the table after a week 2 loss. So it's a huge, huge game coming up this Saturday.
And another thing that worries me, about the secondary injury. I mean, they lost 2 DBs over the weekend. Alabama did, and I know that Texas's offense didn't look crazy, but it was very vanilla. And you know what Texas is going to do. If you looked at the film last year, they kept 8 dudes in the box. They ran 2 wide receiver combinations, gave Quinn Ewers enough time in the pocket to get the ball basically vertical downfield. And Worthy is just a dude that you cannot keep up with him. He just runs by everybody. So Alabama, Texas should be good, but Bama, they got a lot on their plate this week. So we'll see what happens. Now, I got to ask you, holy hell, is Clemson in the Dabo era, is that done? In 3 of their last 4 games, they've lost. South Carolina, now Duke, and don't forget, Tennessee whooped them in the bowl game last year.
Yeah, wow, concerning to say the least. But if you go and look at it, I mean, last night's game was such an anomaly with the amount of self-inflicted errors that Clemson committed, the failure to score inside the red zone, the blocked field goals, the Cade Klubnik sliding down, initiating his slide a yard before the first down marker, and then the late hit not actually helping them get a first down. I mean, just one bizarre play after another that did Clemson in last night on the road against a Duke team that won 9 games and brought everybody back. So if there's an overreaction that I'm pumping the brakes on from week 1, it's that Clemson is cooked and they're fried and they're done. I still think there's a really good chance that Clemson plays in the ACC championship game. Maybe that's a rematch against Duke. I don't know, but
Florida State looked like a behemoth, man. They had Clemson and Florida State. I know each just one week.
Yeah, I know, but Florida State has to go to Death Valley in a couple of weeks, and I still think Clemson's going to get this right. Garrett Riley knows what he's doing as an offensive coordinator. That's a brutal situation to have to open up.
Did you not think those wide receivers? I mean, there was no separation against the
Duke's
defensive back. Like that wide receiving core. I watched Florida State's wide receiving core, and my mouth was on the floor. I looked at Clemson, and they don't have dudes getting any separation at all.
It's bad, and that's where Dabo's refusal to use the transfer portal hurts them because he's relying on the same cast of characters at receiver that he has for the last few seasons, and none of them are dynamic enough or big enough playmakers to help that offense become more explosive. And until they get more explosive on the perimeter in the passing game, they're not going to be a national title contender again. They're still talented enough all the way around to be an ACC title contender, though, and that's kind of what we're looking at now. The playoff might be out of the picture already. So can you rally the troops and go win an ACC title? And then after the season, if Garrett Riley is still the offensive coordinator, you've got to think he's nudging Dabo really aggressively to go into the transfer portal to get some wide receiver talent. Because as an offensive coordinator, at TCU last season, he had a Quentin Johnston who was physical, tall, fast. Guy's going to get some good run in the NFL this season as a rookie. And there's nobody like that on this Clemson team, and that's going to make life more difficult for them. But still, I thought their offense was better last night. They stunk in the red zone, for sure. The turnovers were
Why they line up 6 yards in the backfield inside the 1 yard line? I don't understand that. I mean, they did it inside the 10 twice, turnover twice, man. One time, Klubnik tried to pull the ball from Shipley. They just lose the ball. The other time, he hands it off 6 yards deep in the end zone when you're inside the 1 yard line. My man, jumps the gap, gets in the backfield, knocks his own dude into him, fumbled the football. Dude picks it up. I mean, it was just insane. It's just stupid.
It was. So anyway, I think Clemson played well enough to win that game if you take out all the ridiculous errors and mistakes. And then, at the end, Duke tacks went on. Clemson's thrown in the towel. The final score looks worse than it was, but Clemson still, midway through the fourth quarter, at least had a shot in that game. So, anyway, my overreact all you want to week one for sure, but with Clemson, it depends how you define dynasty. In terms of them competing for a national title, not going to happen this year. In terms of them still being a factor in the ACC championship race, that they still are, even after that performance last night.
I guess the way I'm more thinking of it is maybe Dabo done. If he doesn't have a transcendent quarterback in there like Trevor Lawrence or Deshaun Watson, heck, Taj Boyd was a damn stud. Doesn't seem, like he's gone DJU, nothing. Cade, did look, I know it's game one, horrible, but I also think it's his refusal to use the transfer portal, and all I have to do is go and look down at Tallahassee. You had 3 dudes who transferred in, Keon Coleman, Johnny Wilson, Jaheim Bell, and my goodness, that was over 260 yards and 4 touchdown receptions for those dudes that Mike Norvell went out there and handpicked, and my goodness, man, you got to give a lot of credit. Norvell, great play caller, great wide receivers. Jordan Travis was throwing dimes too.
Yeah, what impressed me about Florida State Sunday night was how they settled in. Travis looked shaky.
First half, he did look shaky in the first half. Second half, though, he had, I think, 12 straight completions.
Yeah, he got on a roll, and the receivers didn't look great in the first half either, dropping a few catchable
Wilson
passes.
dropped 2 easy ones.
He did, and then they all turned around, got it together, and just steamrolled LSU in that second half. I was surprised at LSU's struggles. I really thought they would win that game.
Secondary looked shaky.
They did. The secondary in particular against Florida State looked shaky. So, yeah, LSU disappointing for sure. Brian Kelly was pretty displeased in his post-game press conference with the performance of his team, and it was not hard to see why. So, yeah, FSU, I don't know, man. I've got them all the way up in the top 4 of my CBS Sports 130 ballot this week. Not because, for any other reason other than they had the best win through week 1 in college football, and as good as they looked, I mean, I jumped Alabama, right? Like I jumped Ohio State and USC with Florida State. So yeah, the Noles looked really, really good, and I thought it was defensively too. I mean, obviously Jordan Travis and those receivers stood out, but Jared Verse getting into the backfield.
That dude, number 5, coming off the edge. Did you hear that he also was like the last leg of the 4x100 state champion track meet? Could you imagine a dude running that fast?
Yeah, it's
that
interesting,
big?
right? I love it when we get these stories. Like Jared Verse began his career at the FCS level. I'm pretty sure he started at Albany.
Mm-hmm.
And then after one season at Florida State, he's in the mix to be a first-round draft pick. Chooses to come back to school. And, you come to find out sometimes these guys who begin their careers at lower levels or buried on the depth chart, they were only a 3-star prospect, if that, because they played other sports. They were well-rounded like kids, and maybe they didn't specialize in football 24/7, 365 from the age of 5, but because they developed these other skills and they're coordinated in other ways aside from brute strength, like once they actually get into a college program and focus more solely on football, like then they really shine and blossom, and then they've got all these other physical attributes and whatnot from other sports that they can apply to football, and it sets them apart. I mean, that's what we see with Jared Verse at Florida State. We see that with, like, last night, Riley Leonard. I mean, if you watch that game, you heard them make a,
basketball,
they
talked about tons about all the things that his whole damn family's a bunch of athletes.
Yeah, exactly, though. And so, maybe he wasn't going to the Elite 11 camps when he was 7 years old and, doing the Manning Passing Academy every summer from middle school on, right? But, like, he was an athlete who played sports at a high level. He played sports other than football, and he probably picked up some athleticism, some quick twitch ability playing basketball, and then all of a sudden that shows up in the way he plays quarterback. So I love seeing guys like that who weren't just, put together in a football assembly line at IMG Academy or something, and they end up actually being really good players by the time they get 2 or 3 years of college experience.
What Big 12 team are you more worried about? TCU in the last 2 games has given up 108 points. They gave up 510 yards to Colorado, gave up 45 points. Or Baylor, who just a couple years ago was beating Ole Miss and Matt Corral in a bowl game, losing to Texas State.
Yeah, I'm more worried about Baylor. I think Colorado could actually prove to be a bowl team and be better than myself or anyone thought they would be in year 1 under Dion. But for Baylor to lose at home against a Texas State program in year 1 under a new coach is horrifying if you're a Bears fan. And the fact is they lost their quarterback in that game too.
Yeah, he's out at least 2 weeks. Was it MCL?
Yeah, now they got to go and play Utah. So it's tough times for Baylor, without a doubt. TCU should have won that game against Colorado. TCU made a lot of mistakes that cost them chances to build and extend a lead and put that game away. And so I think TCU is still going to be a solid team. I don't think anyone expected them to repeat and go back to the college football playoff. So they got derailed a little earlier than most people expected, but I still think TCU will be okay.
Oh, yeah, I didn't even ask you. I meant to ask you this right off the bat. I mean, it was UT Martin. What did you think about the debut of Carson Beck?
Yeah, I was underwhelmed by Georgia. I mean, a lot of these, these top 10 teams, man. I mean, there very few of them other than LSU really impressed me. I mean, Washington, who I guess will be top 10 in the AP poll today, they took care of business against Boise, and I thought Penn State looked pretty good in all facets against West Virginia. But yeah, Georgia was uninspiring to me in Mike Bobo's re-debut as offensive coordinator. Clearly, Georgia fans are familiar with him from the Mark Richt era, but yeah, the Carson Beck first few possessions there, they look shaky. UT Martin's a good FCS team, but I mean, come on, right? Like when you got Brock Bowers, Vlad McConkey, and A.D. Mitchell and all these guys out there, I mean, you really should score at will against an FCS team from the Ohio Valley Conference. And Georgia did not do that, and I'm not ready to move them out of the number 1 spot, not by a long shot. It's a new quarterback, a new coordinator, but ultimately a cupcake soft schedule that's going to give them all the time they need to get it right.
Could it be a down year for the SEC? Could it be a little bit slippery? I mean, we're not impressed too much with Alabama. Got a big game against Texas this week. We saw what happened to LSU. They fell on their face. South Carolina against North Carolina. What happened to that offense against North Carolina's pitiful defense?
No joke.
That was wild. You know what Florida did when they played Utah? It was pretty damn embarrassing. And hell, Vanderbilt should have lost to Hawaii, and they're supposed to be better in after the success they had. That offense can't run the football. Clark Lee started off with a boom. Right now, it's a little bit shaky.
The SEC, not great through week one. I've only got one SEC team making the college football playoff this year. That's Georgia. And part of the reason for that is I think whoever Georgia plays in the SEC championship game, they're going to beat that team, and that'll probably be at least the second loss for that team out of the SEC West. So unless it's a situation where the second-place team in the West is somehow sitting there with one loss and can backdoor their way into the playoff like Ohio State did last year out of the Big Ten, I think we're looking at a one-team playoff from the SEC contingent. And I got two out of the Big Ten, the same two as last year, Michigan and Ohio State. So you're right. I mean, it could be a down year for the SEC. And if Texas A&M is back and or at least better, and they can challenge Alabama and LSU, that's going to kind of put a ceiling on what the SEC can accomplish. Because if that's another team that Alabama or LSU have to worry about on their trek to a college football playoff, and it increases the chances of them picking up another loss along the way. So, too early to tell, but the early signs are not encouraging to the league.
I will say the last year, what's going to be the Pac-12, they look strong as can be. Who are you most impressed with? I mean, DJ, you look good against San Jose State. Oregon State was strong. Utah killed Florida. Pac-12, you saw what USC, they've just been playing some baby teams, but they smoking them. Oregon, I think they played Portland State, but it was like 100-7. Pac-12 is looking nasty.
Yeah, Colorado's got to be my pick, though, for most impressive. And the debut, everything about it was far beyond what I could have anticipated. And I think you just have to give a lot of credit to Deion Sanders for the staff that he assembled. Because Charles Kelly, as a veteran defensive coordinator who's been at places like Alabama, Florida State, Tennessee, that's a big-time hire. And then, especially on offense, Sean Lewis getting a sitting FBS head coach from Kent State to come and be your offensive coordinator, that's a big-time hire for Deion Sanders. And for somebody with an ego as large as Deion, like the fact that he recognized out of the gate that he needed to make serious big-time hires in those coordinator positions, and the fact that he was able to do it, so huge, so big. The fact that he could recognize the types of staffers that he needed, and the fact that he was able to go out and get two guys like that. And it was so evident on the field with Shedeur Sanders throwing for over 500 yards, distributing the football to Travis Hunter and Dylan Edwards and these other weapons that they found, Jimmy Horn through the transfer portal. It was far beyond what I and most other people imagined from the first game, right? Deion Sanders has played the game at the highest level. He's been a successful coach at lower levels, but he wasn't a GA at a Power 5 school. He wasn't an analyst. He was never a position coach, never a coordinator at a Power 5 school. And so to just walk in here and beat a college football playoff team in week one, with a roster overhauled as much as he overhauled that one. That was incredible.
One of the other things that's just absolutely incredible is just look around at the quarterbacks over in the Pac. Hell, DJ, you couldn't do anything at Clemson. Beavers looked great. The little Ward kid for Washington State threw the ball all over the yards, 451 yards passing, 3 touchdowns. Schrader Sanders was awesome. Caleb Williams is a freak. Bo Nix is doing Bo Nix things. Michael Penix Jr., 5 touchdown pass, 450 yards, no problem. Like, they got some dudes over in the Pac this year.
Yeah, isn't it crazy that the final year of the league is one of the best that we've seen in my lifetime? In the 21st century, without a doubt, in terms of the parity and the depth and the talent in the Pac-12. And this is it, man. After this, it's all done. It's all over with. So enjoy it while you can, without a doubt. One kind of under-the-radar game, quarterback battle we got coming up this week. Arizona and Jaden DeLaura against Will Rogers and Mississippi State.
Ooh.
That's not a headliner for week 2, but a really fun matchup between two teams with lofty aspirations, right? So I'll be excited to see that one this week.
What you got working on? What can we expect over at CBSSports.com?
Oh yeah, a lot of preview stuff for week 2 already coming up, and then I'm working on the bottom 25 this year. So the worst teams in the FBS and ranking them in order of their futility. So that should be fun. So check that out tomorrow.
Man, hey David, thank you so much for your time. Be blessed. Enjoy the football, brother.
All right, man. I appreciate it.
That is David W. Cobb. Don't forget, man, we went down to Oxford. I'm telling you, everybody went to Frontier Western Store. Everybody was wearing white. They went to Frontier Western Store, 5880 Goodman Road down in Olive Branch. They got their white shirts. And there were more cowboy boots and little skirts down there. And you know where you get cowboy boots and skirts from? Frontier Western Store's Ladies Boutique. That's right. There were some cute little kids running around. They were throwing footballs, doing their little thing, being kids. They got a children's department at Frontier Western Store. And they got all you men covered. Largest boot showroom in the entire world. Frontier Western Store. Again, 5880 Goodman Road down in Olive Branch. Don't forget, they also have a online, Bing Bang Boom. Just open up your phone, go to frontierwesternstore.com, maybe your computer, your little tablet. Again, frontierwesternstore.com. You shop there. It's easy to navigate. You order, Bing Bang Boom. 24 hours later, your order's out the door and headed to your crib. Frontier Western Store and frontierwesternstore.com. We got Hardenwood on the other side. Jay, did you know that I think it was an Airbus 350 from Delta Airlines.
Oh, I heard about out of Atlanta, right?
Don't say it, but it had to turn around because of a biohazard. We'll talk about this and some other crazy stories in Hardenwood. And on the other side, guess what we got mo of?
The college football tour.
Yeah, and a little NFL. I got a few storylines I'm going to be paying attention to, especially in week 1. Sports 56, 98.5 FM.
Hi, everyone. Greg Gaston for FanDuel. Add a little excitement to your sports watching experience by betting on all the action on FanDuel Sportsbook. There's a reason why FanDuel is America's #1 sportsbook. Their app is simple to use. They've got great odds on all different betting markets, unique fun bet types like same-game parlay, and exclusive always-on promotions such as enhanced odds boosts on the biggest events to let you get more action out of every game day. And if you win, they even get you your winnings safely in as little as 24 hours. If you've never tried FanDuel Sportsbook, what are you waiting for? Just go to FanDuel.com, use Gas Manager promo code to get in on the action. All in an app that's safe, secure, and super easy to use. Just go to FanDuel.com, again, use Gas Manager promo code to join now or sign into your FanDuel Sportsbook account. Must be 21 or over, present in Tennessee. First online real money wager only. $10 deposit is required. Refund issued as non-withdrawable bonus bets that expire in 14 days. Restrictions apply. See full terms at FanDuel.com/sportsbook. Gambling problem? Call Tennessee Redline at 1-800-889-9789.
At Jason's Deli, when you're dining in or picking up curbside, you can expect wholesome food and no surprises, just delicious sandwiches, crisp salads, and quick quality meals made with the freshest ingredients and no artificial trans fats, MSG, high fructose corn syrup, or artificial colors and dyes. Around here, a lot of thought goes into what we put into our food and what we take out of it, because you're not just taking a bite, you're getting a taste of who we are. New items are constantly being created to expand our menu for all tastes and special diets with vegan and gluten-free options available. Convenience and on-time delivery you can count on. It's just a click away at jasonsdeli.com, so whether you need to feed 5 people or 5,000, the team at Jason's Deli, they have the credentials and the commitment to keep you satisfied. Freshness is nearby at Jason's Deli with locations at Ridgeway in the Park Place Center, Poplar and Highland, Germantown Road in Cordova, and on Goodman Road in Olive Branch. Jason's Deli. It's wholesome food and no surprises.
Cashback is not available on gas in New Jersey and Wisconsin.
Billy, your gas light's on. We need to stop and fill up.
No way, Jen. Gas around here is too expensive. We can make it a little further.
Billy, listen to your big sister. You don't need to drive all over searching for the lowest gas prices. Do what I do and use Upside.
Upside?
Do you live under a rock, Billy? Upside is the hottest cashback app out there. It's free to download, and you get real cash back for every gallon of gas you buy. I use it all the time, and I've already made around $200.
You can make that kind of cash back just for buying the gas you have to buy anyway?
Yes, I'm looking at the Upside app now, and there's a gas station at the next exit offering 25 cents per gallon cash back.
Okay, I'm stopping to download Upside and fill up my tank. Download the free Upside app now to earn cash back every time you buy gas. Use promo code FRIEND to get an extra 25 cents per gallon on your first tank. You can cash out anytime right to your bank, to PayPal, or a gift card for Amazon and other brands. Just download the free Upside app and use promo code FRIEND for a 25 cents per gallon bonus on your first tank. That's code FRIEND for a 25 cents per gallon bonus.
Homer Skelton Hyundai Genesis in Olive Branch has an offer you can't refuse. They will pay you to do business with them if you want luxury. And I'm talking the Genesis G70 car. If you would love to have that kind of new technology, they will give you a $1,000 rebate when you finance with Genesis Motor Finance. In other words, they'll pay you $1,000 to do business with them, and you get brand new luxury. You can't beat it. That's Homer Skelton Hyundai Genesis, right at the corner of Craft Road and Highway 78 in Olive Branch. Homer Skelton Hyundai Genesis in Olive Branch, where customer retention is amazing. There's a reason. They take care of you with a team that's been together for a long time. Whether it's finance or whether it's service, you can't beat them. Homer Skelton Hyundai Genesis.
O'Reilly! Increase your vehicle's performance and gas mileage with Lucas Fuel Treatment at O'Reilly Auto Parts. Simply add it to your tank at your next fill-up to eliminate carbon and varnish deposits. Get 2 bottles of Lucas Fuel Treatment for $10, plus 2 times O Rewards points. See your O'Reilly Auto Parts store for details or shop online at O'ReillyAuto.com.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
Nothing says summer like an ice-cold Twisted Tea Hard Iced Tea. Smooth, refreshing, real brewed tea with 5% alcohol. Look for Twisted Tea in the bright yellow cans. Keep it twisted!
Twisted Tea Brewing Company, Cincinnati, Ohio. Please drink responsibly.
We interrupt this broadcast for special news and information concerning family leisure.
The world's biggest spa sale is back and bigger than ever at Family Leisure. How is that possible? Well, let me tell you. You start off with 50 different spa models to choose from 5 different manufacturers. Then you throw in up to 30% off in-stock spas and swim spas. But is that all? Oh, no. You get free upgrades on all in-stock spas, plus 24 months, same as cash. Wow! This is the kind of sale that you just can't have every day, but it's happening right now at Family Leisure, the world's biggest spa sale. Soak in the savings right now at Family Leisure, Witten Road and I-40. You know the place where family and fun come together.
Please remain calm and walk. Don't run to Family Leisure. And now back to your regular programming.
We are Sports 56, WHBQ Memphis, and W253DF Memphis. Flynn Broadcasting Stations.
Oh, yeah.
That is one of those things. When things get too heavy, just call me helium.
Now, back to Sports 56 Happy Hour on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. This hour is brought to you by Tito's Vodka. Here once again, Johnny Radio.
Welcome back to a little Sports 56 Happy Hour. I'm your buddy Johnny Radio. Jay Morgan's hanging out with me. Jay, how are you, buddy?
Good, man.
You feeling good?
Feeling fresh.
Feeling so fresh and so clean.
Yeah, that's Outkast.
Outkast, is that Outkast?
Mm-hmm.
That was a great song back in the day.
Big Boy and Andre 3000.
Yeah, man. A lot of people back in the day did a lot of yayo with that song. I feel like it was on a Printer's Alley every single time I went into that bar.
How about that?
Yeah, and it's just, oh, those were the days, man. Oh, those were the days.
That's all in the family, John.
Oh, yeah, that's right. That is all in the family. Good job. By the way, do you know whose birthday it is?
Whose?
Bob Newhart. You're a TV guy.
I do like Bob Newhart.
Is he dead or is he alive?
No, he's still with us. Thank God.
Amen, Bob. Congratulations for still being
alive.
alive.
Funny guy. Nobody is funnier after a 15-second pause than Bob Newhart.
Yeah,
he's mastered the craft. That it's excellent.
Sure. By the way, there's like Bob Newhart. He's not, but dude, homie's 94 years old. Like,
he still makes appearances every now and again, I believe. I saw him recently on something, but I like Bob Newhart quite a bit.
Freddie Mercury is not here with us. I know
77
that's for sure.
Today, right?
He would have been 77. And do you remember Raquel Welch?
Oh, absolutely. Very attractive woman.
Woo-wee! She would have been 83. Also, a weird thing. You know what happened on this day in 1666. That's a horrible number right there. You know what I'm saying?
I don't remember.
That's when the London fires happened, bro, when the whole damn place burnt down.
That's right.
That's a little bit of history.
It is.
Did you know that somebody used to say, yesterday's history, tomorrow's a mystery, and today is a gift? So you better enjoy it and drink it up. We've been mainlining college football all weekend. Plus, I've been mainlining some baseball, and there's some crazy races going on right now. And I just got to bring some of this up because I don't know. I mean, I love the rule changes. I love that we don't have the shifts anymore. I like more balls being put in play. I like the pitch clock. Now, if I was a professional pitcher, which, man, I ain't never been one, I really wouldn't like it. They got to be in much better shape. Sometimes you don't get to step off the rubber all the time. Maybe readjust your crotch, spit on the ground, kind of try to get in the pitcher's head. I mean, this is just mano a mano. They're throwing that junt. They're hitting that junt. I love the way baseball's being played, but there's also some dudes out there, just like watching Seattle yesterday in the Reds. Like, they're just these baseball players, like the athletes on the field. Looking what Julio Rodriguez has done. He's now the first player in Major League history in his first 2 seasons to have 25 stolen bases and at least 25 home runs.
And it's even more impressive that he did that while turning it on so much down the stretch of the season.
After the All-Star break, he's been the hottest hitter in baseball.
For sure.
Homie's, dude, he had 17 hits in a weekend. He's been hitting bombs. He's been playing D. He's been robbing bombs. And every girl loves to look at his eyes. Like, it's crazy, man. Like if a chick sees him in his eyes, guess what's happened? He's going to pass Wilt Chamberlain easy. Wilt Chamberlain, not you, Shaq, sorry. But Wilt Chamberlain has a chance to get past if he wants to use his superpower. But I am kind of mad because watching the Reds game yesterday, Ellie De La Cruz, super damn freak. I mean, the guy's, what is he, 6'6"? Playing shortstop.
Wow, that's all good. You're crazy.
Throwing balls. Check it out. I think he's I swear I know he's at least 6'4".
I believe you.
My man is a monster of a human being. Fastest dude I've ever seen.
Yeah, he's 6'5", John.
6'5". We were close. I mean, dude, he's just huge. Did you see him standing next to Steele yesterday? He made the dude look like a tiny person. Are we allowed to say that, or because we can't?
No, that's exactly how you say it.
We call him tiny person. I mean, I feel like little people was kind of like disrespectful.
Little people, big world.
Yo, man, what up, little people? I don't know. Anyway, I don't know. Let me know, little people. 901-360-8255.
No, but you're right, John. Unbelievable plays made by him, and I think you and I were talking over the break about this stuff, and I think that's one of the
Ronald Acuna making himself his own damn category with over 60 dead gum stolen bases, over 30 home runs. We're looking at pitchers throwing 100 miles an hour. We're looking at outfielders. We're getting stolen bases back in the ballgame. Look at what Corbin Carroll with the power and the speed. They're playing defense. Like right now, baseball is in such an amazing position that it's crazy. And if you are a small fan of the game, I feel like you got to just be loving life. And this October is about to get buck wild.
I think one of the unexpected results of the rule change that at least I didn't expect is the return of the web gym. Because players have to.
No.
Seriously,
you have to field your position. Like watching people catch a ball in shallow right field. Or a third baseman who's supposed to playing shortstop and him just do a little routine
balls are hit right at you. But when you have to make a play ranging to your left or your right, and there were still web gyms from outfielders, guys are still making crazy diving plays. But like what you're saying, the shortstop, the plays that Ellie's making, these guys making crazy plays, a third baseman getting the ball right on the line and still going to foul territory to make that throw. The return of the web gym has been one of the effects that I've noticed, at least in a small part, and I'm very happy about it.
And it's also the number of balls being put in play.
Very much, yeah, true that.
Is also a whole lot of fun. So if you've been paying any attention to baseball, it's absolutely crazy. If you didn't know this, the Braves are damn good. The one problem I have is how are the Braves not playing on Labor Day? Like, why the hell weren't the Braves playing yesterday, man?
Home of the Brave.
Man, come on now. 90 wins on the season right now. They've been tearing things up, and a big team that people were looking at that was like, oh, you know what? Watch out, second best team in baseball is the Dodgers. They've been playing great baseball. Well, now they're going to have to depend on an old man to be their number one in Clayton Kershaw, and then Miller as their number two pitcher because Julio Urias is not going to be pitching for the Dodgers again this year. He's been arrested for felony domestic abuse. This is his second time. Just 4 short years ago, he was suspended, 25 games, I believe, 25 games for domestic abuse, domestic violence, and then he goes and does it again. Saw what they did with Trevor Bauer. I don't think he ever pitches for the Dodgers again, and it's going to kill this team's chances in the postseason. They were the second best team in the National League. Right now it's the Braves, and then you have to also look at the way the Phillies are playing down the stretch, bro, and I know you don't like the Phillies, but Zach Wheeler, since the All-Star break, has been almost a Cy Young-type pitcher. He is tearing it absolutely to pieces. The Phillies are also starting to hit the baseball, and it's just something about this time of year. They turned it on last season. We'll see what they do. Now, the Cubs, you got to give them credit. Like, the whole wild card race in the National League is tighter than you know what. And you know what that is?
Yes.
Cooter Brown.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say, but
That's
I
right.
wanted you to say it.
Man, you got the Phillies and the Cubs who are kind of separating themselves in this wild card race. But for that 6th and final spot in the postseason, you got the Arizona Diamondbacks, the Cincinnati Reds, the Miami Marlins, the San Francisco Giants. All 4 of those teams are within at least 1 game for that final spot. Like, this is going to be September going into October is going to be wild in the wild card race. I'm stoked. And then let's not forget the American League. Right now, the Rangers and the Seattle Mariners are fighting for the best record, along with the Houston Astros, who are sitting right there. So you have the Astros, the Rangers, and this little team called Seattle, who's come out of nowhere since the All-Star break. One of them is going to win the division, and then the other 2 are going to be the last 2 positions in the wild card. They'll be the 5 and the 6.
Unless Toronto, but I would bet Toronto.
Man, let me just
misses
tell
it.
you something. Bo Bichette is injured. Vladimir Guerrero Jr. ain't hitting. Somehow they win in a little bit of baseball. This is a team that might be only a half game out, but do you believe in Jose Barrios? Do you actually believe in this Blue Jays team? Because I don't. I feel like they're just about to tip and sink, and it's all about the Astros and the Rangers. Could you imagine if the Astros and the Rangers, one of those teams finishes 1 game out of the other 2, and then they're not even in the wild card?
Imagine if it's like, imagine if it's Seattle. Imagine if Seattle on September 5th is in first place, and then they fall, Houston passes them, Texas passes them, Toronto passes them, they end up out of the play. I mean, that would be crazy to see anything like that happen. Also, John, you were talking about the Cubs in the NL. Do you think the Cubs could pass Milwaukee? That's another divisional race. The Cubs are, 2 games back at this point? I mean, they're right there.
They are. Brewers, though, Bam, they've been playing still some pretty damn good baseball right now. The only thing is the Brewers just ain't very good on the road. They're a 500 club, actually. Ain't as bad as I thought they were. I still believe the Brewers are going to hold on it. Yes, the Cubs are playing good. But
and I don't think the Reds have a chance in hell to catch either of them. The Reds just, as exciting as the Reds are, John, they're not playing as good a base.
The Reds are right there.
But they're not. Who do you think?
They don't have the pitching.
Exactly.
But, they had a guy who. Did you see the guy who pitched yesterday? And I can't remember his name. Since his last major league debut in 2016, he had played for 20 teams around the entire world. And he was out there pitching yesterday against Seattle. Did you see that guy's name? I can't remember who it is off the top of my head.
They threw so many guys, I'm not sure which one it is.
Yeah, because they don't have any pitching, but they do have a bunch of dudes that can play defense and also hit the heck out of the baseball.
Yeah, and that would be their saving grace if they were to get it. You're
the problem is the Reds just started a series today. That Seattle Mariners series. Seattle's lost 2 straight now. They got another with them. Today's the day that you got to take the Mariners, I feel like. It's that whole do factor.
Oh, we love the
And plus also Julio Rodriguez, I'm still ticked off, got completely robbed yesterday. Runners on first and second. He hits a bomb, bing, bang, boom. His thing's tied up. Bottom of the ninth, 2 outs. 2 balls, 2 strikes. The catcher's calling for a high fastball. My man throws one, not high and inside, but lower than Cooter Brown. Might have caught the very corner, but also away. The catcher basically almost dives, takes the ball so far out of the deadgum zone, and they ring up Julio, who had already hit a home run in that game. Don't be robbing us, man.
If you don't hit your spot, John, you don't get a strike.
You don't hit your spot, son. You ain't getting it from me, man.
That's just how Major League Baseball works.
It's how it's supposed to work. But anyway, talking also about baseball, I did talk about the clock situation again. MLB is fun. We have some great games. We got the Mariners and the Reds. They go at it today. The Marlins and the Dodgers. Marlins are fighting their little tail off. Does anybody care about the Cardinals and the Braves?
No. I mean, Braves fans do because it's just a few more wins you get to put under your belt.
Poor Angels. Like that team is completely falling apart. Did you know they're now 10 games under 500?
Yeah, that's crazy, John.
Dude, the Angels were riding high. They won 8 straight going into the August 1st trade deadline, and the wheels have completely fallen off. Big game tonight for the Phillies on the road playing the Padres. Good baseball. Baseball's back, and everybody's fired up. But football is a big one. And I wanted to ask you, what do you think about the clock rule? And I'm talking about not baseball, but the college football one, where after a first down, you don't get any stoppage in clock to, reset the change. It just keeps on running. I am not like a person who is against this rule. I'm against how they're handling it.
Okay, so how are they handling it? I missed this. I don't know.
Okay, so, right now, do you know, like everybody was saying the games were too long last year? Well, there's 7% less plays now in a college football game. That's not too terribly much. But now we got 6% more commercials, so the time is only 1% down.
For sure.
So they're running more commercials, and we get more commercials and less college football.
For sure.
Great. I love Deion Sanders and Nick Saban and with the duck, Aflac. Like some commercials are good. I love the Heisman House. You know what I'm saying? Like it's real, bro.
Those are some fun ones to watch.
Those are some good commercials. I'm a commercial guy, Jay. Like if it's a good one, I kind of dig it. But never am I picking a good commercial over more college football. I don't want less football and more commercials. Fix that.
I agree, and I think we could have seen that one coming from a mile away. They're not going to give up that money, and in fact, they might make more of it now because of this whole rule too.
Yeah, dude, because they're paying 6% total commercials that they did last year more than they've played in years past.
Yeah, I agree. That's a nightmare to deal with in that regard too. But I didn't even really notice. I mean, I did notice that the games were the same length of time, but I didn't notice in terms of on the field. It honestly, I knew it was going on, and every time I would look at the
being
clock,
down 14 in the fourth quarter.
Well, that hurts. Yeah,
that not non-stoppage of clock time when teams are trying to run that hurry up spread offense, trying to throw the ball real quick, get a first down, stop the clock, get back up to the line of scrimmage. Man, once they set that dead gum ball, you're snapping that junt. We're not eating any clock now. Like until you get into the final 2 minutes of the second quarter and the fourth quarter, it's the only time for a first down it stops.
Maybe that will cause people to be more conservative early in the game, like not be as willing to push the limits of when I would go for it on fourth down.
No, everybody was going for it on fourth down this weekend,
it's
though, by the way.
It's so crazy. It's kind of the same thing you were talking about with running out of the shotgun, like from the 2-yard line, John.
Like inside, no, they had the ball 6 inches from the goal line, and you got Cade Clubbed it standing on the 6-yard line to get the snap. Why are you? What the? He's a big damn boy. Have you ever watched Jalen Hurts and the Eagles? You ever seen a quarterback sneak? You could have done it at least 4 times. Or, hell, I don't even mind you lining up under center and just turning around to head the ball because once the ball snaps, full set of steam, the running back's running downhill. They have to stand there, wait for you to catch the snap. It gives the defense an opportunity to shoot the gaps, get in the backfield, wreak some havoc, and we saw it happen over and over again, especially at Clemson last night when they were playing Duke.
Well,
we also saw it happen to LSU. Jaden Daniels, LSU. This is a team you think power football. 4 of their 5 offensive linemen back. First and goal from inside the 5, and he's playing in the shotgun. Then you have, 4th and 1? And he loses 13 yards and takes a sack because he's running around like a crazy person because he lined up 6 yards and they're throwing the ball from the 1 damn yard line.
Well, and I really bring that up to make the comparison to going forward on fourth down so much.
Windows get tighter in there. You realize that there's less area you have to cover and more bodies inside there?
Yeah. Well, I bring that up only to really make the comparison to going for it on fourth down so much over the weekend. I just think it's gotten out of control. Like, I don't mean that there's never an opportunity to go for it on fourth down. You don't have to bring your kicking team out there every time. But it also, football, the adage being a game of field position still certainly does apply. There's two sides of the ball. A funny quote that coaches use, and Jim Harbaugh said over the weekend, is calling it your we fence. There's no offense. There's no defense. It's a we fence. We all work together in the game of football. football. And even though that's a silly thing to say, it really does make sense. Your offense and your defense work together in that regard with your special teams to pin them deep and work that way. And I just think it's getting out of hand going for it on fourth down. And like you said, John, clock's moving faster, so maybe going for it too many times puts you in a deficit that you maybe could overcome in years past. And 14 points in the fourth quarter is different. Maybe people will be more conservative early in the games now, but who knows?
Yeah, it's going to be fun. Again, football is back. Can't wait to see a little Alabama and Texas coming up this week. We had great matchups all over the place. But not only is college football here, not only is the Major League Baseball just, we're geared up for October, and it's just the wild card race is ridiculous. The American League West is nuts. It's fun. We also have the NFL starting this Thursday. Again, only 2 sleeps away. You got the Lions and the Chiefs. Currently, Kansas City's a 6.5-point favorite. I've already taken the Lions on a pretty little sizable bet, plus that 6.5 for one simple reason. Lions got one of the top 3 offensive lines in football. Gibbs is going to be running like a madman. They are going to be able to push people over. Jared Goff is no joke. And if the Chiefs don't have Chris Jones, you know what's going to happen? Bad things. They're going to run and just shove the ball down their throat while the Chiefs have to sit that high-powered offense over there on the sideline and Pat Mahomes. That's not a recipe. And if you're going to give me 6.5 points in the very first games, if Chris Jones don't get that big butt up in there on that defensive line, I think the Kansas City Chiefs defense is going to be bad.
I don't know how contract negotiations work, John, but I would imagine if they lose badly to the Lions in week 1, those contract negotiations heat up a little bit over the course of the next week.
It's a very good point.
I don't know if they can even do that, but if they can, they're going to.
Very good point. I'm interested to see the battle of a couple very, I think, poor teams. We're going to see the Falcons. We're going to see what Desmond Ridder can do, Bijan Robinson. What's Arthur Smith's offense going to look like this year with all those running backs? They got a damn stable. They got some big tight ends. They got some big wide receivers. It's a big offensive football team. But is Desmond Ridder going to be good? They're playing Carolina. They're only a 3.5-point favorite at home down in Hotlanta at the Mercedes-Benz Stadium. That game interests me. Jacksonville on the road against the Colts. Anthony Richardson's first start. Jacksonville's a 5-point favorite. That's it. Something smells fishy, bro.
Well, it's a road divisional game.
No, Jonathan. The Jacksonville Jaguars offense looks unstoppable. I mean, they got weapons coming out the wazoo. Dude, you saw what the Jags did just in the second half.
No, John, but 5 points is a lot in the NFL, you know?
Anthony Richardson couldn't win at Florida.
Well, that's
now
true.
He's going to win in the NFL against the Jaguars team.
I don't think so, but oh, man.
Just think about it. You have Sunshine, Trevor Lawrence, the quarterback that actually made Dabo Swinney look like a good coach. You got Travis Etienne Jr. Also, they drafted Tank Bigsby this year out of Auburn. Their wide receivers are Zay Jones, Calvin Ridley, and Christian Kirk. Evan Ingram is their tight end. Their offensive line is strong. Dude, they are going to score. And I don't know how Anthony Richardson is going to do. I mean, it's his first NFL game. I'm just saying, something smells fishy. I'm scared of it. I think this should be at least 7.5 points.
See, that line, too, just makes me want to hold my nose and take the Colts, man.
No, I just can't do it. I can't take Anthony Richardson in his first game.
Okay, or stay away. But here's why. A divisional game on the road, 5-point road favorite. Like, forget the teams for a minute.
Do you know why Anthony Richardson was able to be drafted by the Colts? Because they stunk last year, and they really, really tried to win some football games. Now they don't have Jonathan Taylor.
But that doesn't mean they were always losing by touchdown.
By the way, let's not forget, they don't have Jonathan Taylor either. Like, they can't run the ball, they can't throw the ball. Like, how the hell they going to beat Jacksonville with all them weapons, man? I'm sorry, I'm not touching this one unless I just get enough. I got to see how large it is. Like, if it's like 70-30 and all the money's on the Jaguars, I'm going to hold my nose and take the Colts.
It's going to be.
Because I'm going to be siding with Vegas. Because Vegas don't lose.
Is that going to – okay, if that line moves, where's it going to move, up or down?
Man, if that thing ain't 7 – if that thing's not 7 by Thursday, I'm going to be crazy.
If it's 7, I'm really holding my nose and taking the Colts. You kidding me? Divisional game on the road, week 1 with no preseason. I'm taking this game to be closer than a touchdown.
Another game that I think a lot of people are going to jump on is the 49ers on the road against the Steelers. They are only a 2-point favorite.
You jumping on the Niners? I'll take the Steelers.
Man,
I'm
taking the Steelers, bro. You telling me Steelers at home?
TJ Watt was an MVP.
Watt,
He was an MVP candidate last year before he got hurt. You kidding me? I mean,
Bosa right now, by the way, I don't know if you know this. I'm talking about my man Chris Jones. Bosa ain't with the 49ers because they got contract issues.
Right. Yeah, no, and Steelers
and
home dog week 1. That's crazy. That's just crazy. I'm looking at these lines right now, John, and it's just like it's so much like, oh, this team is that much better than this team. But that's just not the way it works in the NFL. Here's an example of that. Baltimore being 10-point favorites over the Texans. I don't think the Texans are any good. I think the Texans probably stink. But
that's the largest line of the week, isn't it?
And it's week 1. We have less preseason than ever. If you look back since we
100%, that is the largest line.
Oh, absolutely.
Okay.
But since we've taken away one preseason game, the first couple weeks of the season, the first month of the season has changed dramatically. The first month of the season is preseason now. These guys are just getting in the group playing football. I just don't see them. These are all pros. I just don't see games. There's a lot of touchdown deficits in terms of lines this week. I do not see games in the NFL being a touchdown deficit. I think you can make some money picking dogs this week.
I feel you on that one. What about there ain't no dog in this one right now. You got Packers, Bears, pick 'em. It's Soldier Field.
I just saw that too. I was like, well, I'm not picking the winner of that game.
Oh, man, I'm so glad that the NFL's back. College football is here. Baseball, October. Man, this is just the months, brother. The months, September, October, November, December. Best 4 months of the year, and we're just getting started. Hardwood's on the other side. Sports 56, 98.5 FM.
Join the voice of the Tigers, Dave Woloshin, for Wolo and Friends. Weekday mornings from 10 to 11, here on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
Nothing says summer like an ice-cold Twisted Tea Hard Iced Tea. Smooth, refreshing, real brewed tea with 5% alcohol. Look for Twisted Tea in the bright yellow cans. Keep it twisted!
Twisted Tea Brewing Company, Cincinnati, Ohio. Please drink responsibly.
We interrupt this broadcast for special news and information concerning family leisure.
The world's biggest spa sale is back and bigger than ever at Family Leisure. How is that possible? Well, let me tell you. You start off with 50 different spa models to choose from 5 different manufacturers. Then you throw in up to 30% off in-stock spas and swim spas. But is that all? Oh, no. You get free upgrades on all in-stock spas, plus 24 months, same as cash. Wow! This is the kind of sale that you just can't have every day. But it's happening right now at Family Leisure, the world's biggest spa sale. Soak in the savings right now at Family Leisure, Witten Road and I-40. You know the place where family and fun come together.
Please remain calm and walk. Don't run to Family Leisure. And now back to your regular programming.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack, but not with ZipRecruiter. Its powerful technology actively finds and invites qualified candidates to apply to your job. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you the needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. Try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
There's only one place for great steaks, real Italian cuisine, Southern-style meats, and fresh vegetables. It's Fratello's. Fratello's Italian Steakhouse in Hernando has a family feel and a fantastic menu. Voted DeSoto's best new restaurant in 2022, Fratello's has your favorite cuts of prime steak, lamb, and pork, along with delicious Italian dishes. And nothing is better for lunch than Southern-style meats and veggies. All your favorites and more are waiting for you at Fratello's Italian Steakhouse, Highway 51 in Hernando.
Get ready for the NFL season with incredible offers from FanDuel, America's #1 sports book. Right now, new customers can bet $5 to get $200 in bonus bets guaranteed. Plus, all customers who bet $5 will get $100 off NFL Sunday Ticket from YouTube and YouTube TV. Now is the best time to join FanDuel. The app is easy to use. You can bet on everything from spreads to player props and more. So visit FanDuel.com/win and kick off the NFL season with an offer you won't want to miss. FanDuel, official partner of the the NFL.
21 plus and present in Tennessee. Bonus issued as non-withdrawable bonus bets that expire 7 days after receipt. Restrictions apply. See full terms at FanDuel.com/sportsbook. Gambling problem? Call TN Redline 1-800-889-9789. NFL Sunday Ticket offer ends 9/18/23. No refunds. Terms and embargoes apply. $100 off NFL Sunday Ticket, not YouTube TV. YouTube TV base plan required to watch YouTube TV. Redemption requires a Google account and current form of payment. Commercial use excluded. Subscription renews. Cancel anytime.
I'm Gary York. I'm the service director at Lexus in Memphis. Our service department wants to be more than just a place where you get your oil changed. We do glass repair, windshield replacement, recalibration of your camera and sonar systems, even wheel repair, tire replacement, all the things you would expect from a luxury automotive dealer. Please check out our website. You can schedule your appointment, check out our specials, hours of operation, or if you'd like to do it in person, please reach out to one of our associates at 901-271-5199.
Now your ideas don't have to wait. Now they have everything they need to come to life. Dell Technologies and Intel are creating technology that loves ideas, loves expanding your business, evolving your passions. We push what technology can do, so great ideas can happen right now. Find out how to bring your ideas to life at Dell.com. Welcome to Now.
At Staples, you can count on every project being print perfect guaranteed.
I need presentations and business reports printed, and they have to be perfect.
I need beautifully bound booklets for my business.
Your presentations and booklets will be in captivating color, beautifully bound, and will be done right every time. That's our Print Big promise. And right now at Staples, get $10 off your document printing on orders of $40 or more. Try Staples and see the difference. Ends 9/30. Exclusions and restrictions apply. See associate or visit staples.com/print for details.
4.9 liter V8, 0 to 60, and I'm about to find out.
Now, back to Sports 56 Happy Hour on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. This hour is brought to you by Tito's Vodka. Here once again, Johnny Radio.
Welcome back to a little Sports 56 Happy Hour. I'm your buddy Johnny Radio. Jay Morgan, man, what's up, man? Hanging out with me. Appreciate that. You know that?
Oh, yeah, John.
You are the man. You are the man. Now, we're about to do a little hardwood. I got some crazy stories again. We've been talking week one of the NFL's almost upon us. Thursday night, we're kicking this John off. A little Kansas City Chiefs, a little Detroit Lions action in Kansas City. Craziness. You know what the line is? You know what the line is?
What is it?
Oh, Kansas City's a 6.5-point favorite. That one seems a little bit high for me. Kind of like the Lions. Already took them earlier. Chris Jones comes back. I'm not going to feel as comfortable. But right now, as of Tuesday, he is still not with the team. So we talked a lot of NFL, plus we had college football coming out the frame from Clemson losing to Duke 28-7 last night. TCU losing to Colorado. Sanders throwing for 410. Baylor falling to Texas State. Holy moly. Crazy week. FSU just bully whipping LSU. Brian Kelly got out coached by Mike Norvell. Mike Norvell in the transfer portal getting some dudes. So a lot of college football, but we're about to get into some weird stories. Like what kind of biohazard would happen on a Delta Airlines flight to Atlanta, by the way? They were leaving Atlanta Airport, and they had to turn around and go back to the Atlanta Airport because of a biohazard, because we had some crazy stuff go down. But I got to first tell you, before we get into Hardwood, you like to ride in style. I love to ride in style. And if you want to ride in style, go to Scooters Plus, 3425 Summer Avenue. They have ATVs, UTVs, golf carts, motorcycles, dirt bikes, tripes, scooters, and more. So when it's time to purchase big, you want to save big. So go to the largest showroom around at Scooters Plus. Their showroom hours are 9 a.m. to 6 p.m. Monday through Saturday. And at Scooters Plus, they always bring in new inventory. Like, you need to just go online and check it out at scootersplus.us. That's scootersplus.us. Buy, sell, trade, plus parts and repairs. Scooters Plus, 3425 Summer Avenue. Let's go to Hardwood.
This is Access Hardwood.
Well, we had a do you remember the lady on the airplane? Like, there's some stories about airplanes. Like, do you remember that movie, Final Destination?
Very much so.
And the lady has a dream about the plane going down. And, like, some of the people get up and get off the plane. Other people don't. She tells everybody the plane's going to go down. And then it goes down. You know what I'm saying? Remember that?
Oh, yeah.
Final Destination, scary plane story.
Very much so.
Another scary plane story.
Snakes on a plane.
Snakes on a plane. Scary. Like, I don't want no snakes on a plane. How do you know Samuel L. Jackson's going to be on the plane if there's snakes? Because without him...
Because you'll hear a lot of MFers.
Yeah, that's a good point. If there's a lot of MFers coming from your plane, you're probably going to be safe from snakes. But this is maybe... Oh, and don't forget the lady, remember, who said that MFer wasn't real in the back? She almost has become famous for being a kind of halfway hot, crazy person on a plane. Do you remember this one?
Not particularly.
That's not real. That MFer is not real. I'm telling you, you need to get off this plane. And remember, you don't remember that?
Oh, not at all. That's
oh my
so
gosh. Weird. Like, I know everybody listening to the story has seen it because this girl is literally like world famous now for being crazy people because they thought she was predicting like some Final Destination-ish, and they also thought that she had met a shapeshifter, like other crazy conspiracy theories. See, what happened is she just probably took way too many pharmaceuticals, mixed them with alcohol,
that sounds right,
and lost her, you know what, on an airplane. Well, this is really losing your ish on an airplane. So, ladies and gentlemen, this is your captain speaking. Please buckle up your seatbelt. We are clear for takeoff. Weather's going to be beautiful. We're going to be flying at 30,000 feet, blah, 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 blah. Bam, guess what? Y'all take off. Shh, you're going up, you're going up, you're going up. And for some reason, there was a poor person on this airline who, and let me just tell you something. Have you ever just been hit with spontaneous diarrhea so bad that my man couldn't take his seatbelt off and go to the bathroom, okay?
No, I've been there, John.
And he pooped himself so bad in his seat that they had to turn the plane around because they said it was filling up the aisle.
Up and down the aisle, John.
Now, let me just tell you something. I'm somebody who can get embarrassed. Like, if I was, say, sitting at a restaurant and I'm sitting there and I'm trying to think of, let's say I'm sitting at the bar, like, because you're close to see, you're sitting right next to people at a bar, and say I'm flirting with some girl. And then I'm like, hey, baby, you want a drink? And she's like, yeah. And you're like, oh, you okay? And you're like reaching towards the bartender, like, and you kind of lean up in your chair. Let's say I just went, and she heard that. I would be mortified. You know what I mean? Like, that's just a fart. And I'd be like, oh my God. I guess I just have to buy this drink now to say I'm sorry, because she's definitely not going anywhere else with me.
So, John, you never pooped your pants at a bar?
No, I have not.
Oh, that's crazy. I have.
Yeah, I know, actually. It's a great story.
Mm-hmm. I've done that before.
That's, by the way, I'm going to tell that story in a minute, because that's a warrior friend right there. Good job, Jay Morgan, and I'll tell you why I'm impressed with you. But this person pooped themselves so bad on the airplane that they turned it around and parked it. Now, can I ask you something? Is this like, do you feel like this person needs to be at least on a 3-4 day mental check? Because I don't think they should be allowed to go home by themselves, because they're going to be depressed. Like, you caused a whole plane to turn around because you pooped your pants during takeoff so bad that it came down your leg and in the aisle. This is just a bad day. And by the way, poor airline stewardess. All she wanted to do was push her cart down the aisle, get you a beverage, and then get to her next destination. She didn't get to do that. She had to turn around and start a whole damn day over and probably clean up some poo out of an aisle. Bad day.
Bad day, John.
So bad day all around. Delta Airlines it was, by the way. Delta, I know what D stands for.
Dookie.
Yes. You are correct, sir.
John, I got a story for you. A new study finds that vaping might lower your sperm count and shrink your testicles.
Glad I don't vape, homie.
A new study in Turkey suggests that vaping may do all those things. Authors of the study wrote that it should be considered that although e-cigarette liquid has been introduced as harmless in smoking studies, it could increase oxidative stress and cause morphological changes in the testicle. The test itself was conducted using 3 groups of rats, which were exposed to cigarette smoke, e-vapor, and then a control group. Regular cigarettes were found to be even worse for men's sperm count and genital functions.
So smoking ain't all that good, but what about the cannabis? Because it seems like cannabis is good.
Doesn't look like there was any study on cannabis, but I would imagine, John, that it wasn't the nicotine that was hurting your test. Maybe it was the nicotine. I don't know. We need to know study for that.
Nothing's hurting mine, brother. That's what I said. I ain't smoking.
We're not having kids anymore either. You might,
Hey,
John.
man,
I don't want to put that on
3
you.
grandkids. Don't you dare put that on me. I promise you, if something happens right now, I'm coming after you. Don't you put that thought out in the world, man.
No, you're not having any more kids.
I know, but never mind. Just let's not even talk about this.
Okay.
I'm about to have a nervous breakdown. I'm thinking about, by the way, Sunday I kept my grandkids again. I love them. It was a
best
wonderful
form of birth
Sunday.
control is what you're saying?
Just saying, it's not as easy as it was when I was young. Like, it's amazing. I was so dumb when I was young and I was actually a father. I mean, I'm still a father, but where I was in the part of raising.
Right.
Like, I used to, just throw my kid in, a backpack in my shoulder and just go everywhere with them. Now I'm like, I ain't taking no kids nowhere. There's a plane that turned around. We have Julio Urias. Now, if you don't know what he's done, he's now basically been arrested for felony assault. And this is crazy. He's the best pitcher for the Dodgers. Dodgers have a chance to do a lot. They're hitting the hell out of the baseball. They got the second best record in the National League. Well, now they have to rely on a rookie in Miller and an old man in Kershaw as their 1 and 2. Not really good for postseason baseball. Not feeling good about the Dodgers. Feel even worse about Julio Urias, and I should say this man should never pitch for the Dodgers ever again. I think that's what's going to happen, but believe it or not, I found a story where this person, I found a guy who's such a bad boyfriend. Again, Julio Urias has now been arrested for domestic assault twice. But this guy that I found makes him look like actually a 5. Not in a bad catch. Not so bad of a catch. Because this might be the most awful human being in the world. So there's a young girl named Taylor White. She's 21 years old. She was in a relationship with a tattoo artist. Now, I'm not casting dispersions on tattoo artists. But this story is about a tattoo artist who took things a little bit too far. So, Taylor White told her tattoo artist boyfriend that maybe, sorry, things aren't working out for us. But she wanted to tell him to his face that she's ending the relationship. They had a couple cocktails. She figured that maybe, one more time or whatever, I'm going to say my goodbyes. Well, she had the cocktail, and that's the last thing she remembers because she passed out because her boyfriend drugged her. Now, what do you think he did to her while she was asleep? Remember, he's a tattoo artist.
I will decline to answer, John.
He tattooed her face completely black with just big old white eyes and a couple white splotches that look like bad skin on her face. This has to be the worst boyfriend in the history of the world. Because I don't know if you know, do you know how hard it is to take off some tattoo off your face?
I do.
So, this dude, number one, hallelujah, this man's gotten arrested. He should go to jail for a long time. And if they don't want to do it, you know what they should do? For his punishment, honestly? They should tattoo a gigantic penis across his face.
They should.
And make him wear that and he can't even try and get it off.
But then you put fashion into something different,
Well, he is a tattoo artist. He probably could.
He could. He's the artist.
Well,
or he knows a good artist,
but
too.
Anyway, is that the most horrible thing you've ever heard in your life?
The removal would be much worse.
You're just a 21-year-old girl living your life. Just having a good time. You break up with a boyfriend and he's an absolute lunatic?
Mm-hmm.
Again, I'm just saying, I can't believe I'm going to say this, but dude, if you're dating a tattoo artist, be careful. If he gets mad at you, he can do... No, I'm just kidding. I don't think anybody's ever done that, but that's the worst, isn't it?
Very much so.
Oh, man. And did you hear about Burning Man?
People got stranded or something, right?
Yeah, man. It had they're out in the desert. Everybody's ready for a desert, and they had torrential rains. They had so many deadgum rains that these three-eyed dinosaur shrimp that can stay dormant for 50 years all started coming back to life. And it was just crazy. And people were stuck for days. They had to ration food. It wasn't like they were just doing a bunch of hippie stuff. It got dirty. It got nasty. Glad I ain't at Burning Man.
Sounds nasty, John.
And I guess last but not least, Urban Meyer got caught again this week. You know what he was doing?
Losing weight to try and get another job?
Nope. He was flirting with another young girl. Remember what he did last time we were talking about Urban Meyer going to his little bar and he was letting that young girl grind on him?
I do remember that, John.
Well, he thinks he's off camera and he thinks that they're just not going to show him. And he's over there throwing his best game trying to pick up this young girl who obviously works for the network. She was very attractive. I got to say, he sees a 10 and he does the same thing again and again. And it must have worked a few times for Urban Meyer. He's got a little cash in his pocket. But damn, dude, you can't be doing this on camera because, man, the TikTok went crazy. No, it's not the TikTok. The Twitter, the X went crazy this weekend talking about Urban Meyer and his dirty old man self. Man, but he was awesome.
I don't know. I just saw the video for the first time. That's pretty. It wasn't as inappropriate as some of his previous encounters.
Oh no, I'm just, dude. Well, he's supposed to be on TV in 30 seconds.
All three videos say what a dirtbag. I mean,
it's great.
I mean, look, that was, if you want to call him a dirtbag for his previous, episodes, let's say, fine. This one was fairly innocent.
Well,
I'll give him a pass. You know what? I'll give Urban a pass.
Hey, let me just tell you something. I bet his wife ain't giving him a pass.
Well, you know what, John? That's a fair point, too.
What's that song? For the Nookie. The Nookie. You ever heard that song?
Yes, and I do like saying the word nookie.
He ain't getting none of that at all, period, end of discussion.
Nookie is sex.
Yes, I think actually
People
all the young
that.
kids knew that one.
Do you think kids knew that?
I mean, y'all are the
kids
ones.
say nookie anymore?
Well, I mean, I'm old now. I call you a kid.
Oh.
Even though you're still a child, though, technically.
You got no hair, man.
Well, I mean, babies don't either.
That's true. You know what? Touche, John.
I will say, though, right now, Hot Sea Pressure Washer and Detail Supplies of Memphis, they take it all off. They're the #1 cleaning and equipment provider, period. Big or small, they clean it all. From your big rig to your back patio, Hot Sea has a solution. From hot water and cold water pressure washers to industrial soaps and detail supplies, Hot Sea's got you covered over here because Sports 56 fans are going to get 20% off all their detail products. Don't miss out on this amazing deal. Call Hot Sea today, 901-379-0550. That's 901-379-0550. Or visit their showroom, conveniently located at Austin P and I-40. That's Hot Sea Pressure Washer and Detail Supplies of Memphis. Back in 2 shakes to close things out. Sports 56, 98.5 FM.
Broadcasting from the Family Leisure Studio, we are Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
At Jason's Deli, when you're dining in or picking up curbside, you can expect wholesome food and no surprises, just delicious sandwiches, crisp salads, and quick quality meals made with the freshest ingredients and no artificial trans fats, MSG, high fructose corn syrup, or artificial colors and dyes. Around here, a lot of thought goes into what we put into our food and what we take out of it, because you're not just taking a bite, you're getting a taste of who we are. New items are constantly being created to expand our menu for all tastes and special diets with vegan and gluten-free options available. Convenience and on-time delivery you can count on. It's just a click away at jasonsdeli.com, so whether you need to feed 5 people or 5,000, the team at Jason's Deli, they have the credentials and the commitment to keep you satisfied. Freshness is nearby at Jason's Deli with locations at Ridgeway in the Park Place Center, Poplar and Highland, Germantown Road in Cordova, and on Goodman Road in Olive Branch. Jason's Deli. It's wholesome food and no surprises.
7.
12. What are we playing?
Central Barbecue has 7 different kinds of sandwiches.
Okay, does that seem like a lot?
Are you kidding? 7 may be the most perfect amount of sandwiches. See, they get the pulled pork. You can get chopped on request. Then trim sliced beef brisket sandwich. There's 2 right there.
I'm not sure exactly.
Look, you've also got the pulled chicken, the smoked turkey, the marinated portobello mushroom sandwich.
That seems like plenty.
You would think, but then you also got the smoked sausage and the barbecue bologna sandwich.
You're right. 7 may be the perfect amount of sandwiches.
The people at Central Barbecue are genius.
Hi, everyone. Greg Gaston for FanDuel. Add a little excitement to your sports watching experience by betting on all the action on FanDuel Sportsbook. There's a reason why FanDuel is America's #1 sportsbook. Their app is simple to use. They've got great odds on all different betting markets, unique fun bet types like same-game parlay, and exclusive always-on promotions such as enhanced odds boosts on the biggest events to let you get more action out of every game day. And if you win, they even get you your winnings safely in as little as 24 hours. If you've never tried FanDuel Sportsbook, what are you waiting for? Just go to FanDuel.com, use Gas Manager promo code to get in on the action. All in an app that's safe, secure, and super easy to use. Just go to FanDuel.com, again, use Gas Manager promo code to join now or sign into your FanDuel Sportsbook account. Must be 21 or over, present in Tennessee. First online real money wager only. $10 deposit is required. Refund issued as non-withdrawable bonus bets that expire in 14 days. Restrictions apply. See full terms at FanDuel.com/sportsbook. Gambling problem? Call Tennessee Redline at 1-800-889-9789.
Cashback is not available on gas in New Jersey and Wisconsin.
Billy, your gas light's on. We need to stop and fill up.
No way, Jen. Gas around here is too expensive. We can make it a little further.
Billy, listen to your big sister. You don't need to drive all over searching for the lowest gas prices. Do what I do and use Upside.
Upside?
Do you live under a rock, Billy? Upside is the hottest cashback app out there. It's free to download, and you get real cash back for every gallon of gas you buy. I use it all the time, and I've already made around $200.
You can make that kind of cash back just for buying the gas you have to buy anyway?
Yes, I'm looking at the Upside app now, and there's a gas station at the next exit offering 25 cents per gallon cash back.
Okay, I'm stopping to download Upside and fill up my tank. Download the free Upside app now to earn cash back every time you buy gas. Use promo code FRIEND to get an extra 25 cents per gallon on your first tank. You can cash out anytime right to your bank, to PayPal, or a gift card for Amazon and other brands. Just download the free Upside app and use promo code FRIEND for a 25 cents per gallon bonus on your first tank. That's code FRIEND for a 25 cents per gallon bonus.
A cold shower is no way to start your day. Purchase a new water heater from the pros at Conway Services, and you may be eligible for up to $2,000 in federal tax credits. Call 384-3511 to schedule your appointment. Visit conwayservices.com for details, terms, and conditions.
License number 64210, 64365 EAS, MS 19688.
Call 384-3511. Conway Services. Call Conway today.
When you walk into Genesis Diamonds, it's jaw-dropping. Hey, it's Eric Hasseltine, and Genesis has a gorgeous showroom with more fine jewelry than you've ever seen in one place. No commission salespeople and no stress whatsoever. Genesis Diamonds is a whole new, refreshing concept in jewelry shopping that people here are absolutely loving. And they specialize in diamonds, so they have every size and every shape diamond you can imagine, from a half-carat to 20-carat diamonds, rounds, ovals, cushion cuts, princess cuts, emerald cuts, pear shapes, you name it, they've got it. And you can choose from natural diamonds or lab-grown diamonds. The prices will shock you. Genesis is a disruptor. They came here to expose high jewelry markups at other stores and pass the savings on to you. Genesis is a game changer, and it's not just diamonds. Check out Genesis' amazing selection of luxury pre-owned Rolexes with all the hard-to-find models. Don't buy jewelry anywhere until you see what Genesis has brought to Memphis. They're on Poplar at Perkins Extended in Poplar Commons. Genesis Diamonds, the official jeweler of the Tennessee Titans.
But you gotta be willing to take the hit and not pointing fingers saying you ain't where you want to be because of him or her or anybody. Cowards do that, and that ain't you. You're better than that.
Now, back to Sports 56 Happy Hour on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. This hour is brought to you by Tito's Vodka. Here once again, Johnny Radio.
Welcome back to a little Sports 56 Happy Hour. I'm your buddy Johnny Radio. Jay Morgan's hanging out with me. Big thanks to David W. Cobb from CBSSports.com earlier. We talked all things college football, the things that we learned, the things we're looking forward to in week number 2. Colorado, impressive win over TCU. Texas State, they got their first win over a Power 5 team. That was Baylor. My goodness, Big 12 took one on the chin. Clemson looks terrible. But we also got NFL action. Like this year, the Jets going to be boom or bust, man. They play on Monday night. Bills are a 2.5-point favorite. Can Kansas City repeat again as champions? I don't know, man. Because guess what? Chiefs play the Lions Thursday night. 2 more sleeps, and we got NFL football. Hope everybody had a wonderful time. I know there's one thing I'm going to do. I think I'm going to go to one of the wonderful locations where Central Barbecue's at, because I could use some barbecue nachos, a little sausage cheese plate maybe, some pulled pork, some ribs. Oh, my goodness, they got you covered downtown. They got you covered on Summer. They got Midtown, the original gangster, on Central, out east in Poplar, and also now down in South Haven, Mississippi at 6547 Getwell Road. When you think smoke is their sauce. The only thing to think is Central Barbecue. Jay Morgan, before we go, did you have a baseball bet?
Dang, no, I don't.
Man, you know what? I guess it's all about the football right
It's
now.
all about the football.
It's all about that football. And also, don't forget, Tito's. It's time to go get you some. Happy hour's over. For Jay, I'm John. Get out there. Make this world a better place. See you on the flip side. Peace.
One of the most